Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, sushidragonmaster, and today I am filming in front of my bedroom door because sometimes you have to do that. Basically, the light I use my window as light, so I use the sun. And my second bookshelf, because of where it is, it kind of blocks the sun from getting in. I can just hear my sister giving dragons references to that sentence right now. So it's really shadowy in there, so all my videos have been really dark, so I'm just moving positions for that reason. But I will be going back in front of my shelves eventually because we are redoing my room, and then my shelves are going to be in a line instead of in an L shape, and then it won't be a problem anymore. Because I'll also be closer to the window, so then the sun will be closer to me as long as the sun is out. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to do my May wrap up. So in May I read 6 books, which is good because I had this fear that I wasn't going to be able to read enough because I got stuck on this one book, which I had already read 4 books up until that point, so I don't know why I thought that. And I'm really ahead on my reading challenge. I'm way ahead. I'm just months ahead. I could skip a whole month of reading and I'd still be ahead. So let's just get into that before I keep rambling, and I'm sorry if it looks like I'm ducking. I just feel like the camera is cutting off part of my head, which isn't really a big deal. You don't really have to see the top of my head. Who cares? I started off May by finishing my reread of Cinder, and I actually rated this 4.5 out of 5 instead of 4 out of 5 this time. I really loved this book a lot more this time around. It's probably because the first time I was kind of in a reading slump, so I had to force myself through it. And while I did enjoy it the first time, because I had to force myself, I feel like that took away some of the enjoyment. And I really kind of felt like I could get more out of it since I was enjoying it this time and wasn't just suffering through it. That sounds horrible. I mean, because the first time I read it, I would be flipping through it and just be I hate this. And as soon as I would put it down, I'd be oh, then this just happened and everything is awesome. And then when I was reading it, I'd be what is this? I do that sometimes. It's not even necessarily a reading slump. It's just I go through this phase where I hate reading, but I like what I read. The next book I read was the book I chose for the Sushi Dragon Reading Challenge for May. The reading challenge for May was to read a book that has a movie adaptation, and I chose one that has a movie adaptation coming up, and now I'm so excited to see that movie. But anyways, it was A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, and I gave this 5 out of 5. It was awesome. It's about this kid, and he's going through tough times in his life, and that's all I'm going to say, because I really don't want to spoil much, because it's a really short book, so there's not a lot that goes on, but it feels like there is. It's one of those things, there's so much packed in this little amount of pages, and that it feels like it's longer than it is. And there's these cool illustrations in it, and it's awesome, and I'm touching my hair because that's the kind of person I am. I'm staring into the thingy-majig of the camera, and playing with my hair until it's how I like it as I'm talking. I do that sometimes. But anyway, I highly recommend this book. After that, I read The Hidden Oracle by Rick Riordan, and I do own this, but my friend has it, and it's not in my current possession. I loved it. It was so good. It was I was so excited for it, but then as I got closer, I was oh, what if it's a disappointment? Let's lower our expectations. And then, I didn't lower them much. I still have pretty high expectations for it, but it just came along and past my expectations, didn't even say hello to them. It was hey, I'm up here while your expectations are so pitiful compared to what I am. And I loved it, and I gave it a 5 out of 5, and it was the best. I laughed. Sorry about the door, I keep hitting it. I laughed so much, it was so funny, and I keep just saying random things that happened that were said in there. And it's awesome. It's the best. Then I read The Crown by Kiera Cass, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 because I just did. Now I'm questioning why I did that. I mean, I liked it. I really did. I really did like it. But I had a major problem with it. Like, a really big problem that prevented that 5th star from happening. But I didn't want to decline it, that 4th star, because that would just kind of be me, like, doing it out of anger, and I don't think that would be right. But my problems with it are very, very spoilery, so I don't feel like I should talk about them in a wrap-up. But it kind of involves who Evelyn ends up with, because I don't get it. Like, I don't get where it came from. I didn't see this. It was just kind of like, boom, here it is, and I was like, what just happened? I did like the book though, but I was just very disappointed with it because the air was so good. I thought we actually didn't have like an indecisive main character this time, and then this book happened and I was like, no, that's back! No! I mean, still not as bad as America with her indecisiveness. I mean, I still love those books, but that America and her indecisiveness, I just wanted to punch her in the face half the time. And now Evelyn joined the club of people that irritate, well, fictional characters that irritate me. Then I did the thing I said I would do when I started the Kane Chronicles. And obviously I started with the Red Pyramid because that's the first book, and it's by Rick Riordan. And it's another really awesome Rick Riordan series. I mean, I only gave this one 3.5 out of 5 because it had a very slow start. But I feel hope for the rest of the series because I just see awesomeness coming. But I did, like, in starting this book, I really forgot how hard it is to start a Rick Riordan book because there's so much world building that has to happen with the different mythologies, and it's just hard to understand different ones. Of course, like, the Greek mythology was easy to understand just because we've all heard different stories of that, and so it wasn't as hard to catch on to the different things that I didn't know. But I know nothing about Egyptian mythology apparently because I was like, what's going on here? Although the whole time I was reading this, like, no matter what was happening, all I could think of was the song You're Playing with the Big Boys Now from The Prince of Egypt, like, the whole time. And that song just kept playing in my head the whole time. And it was slightly irritating. But not, because I love that song. But it was distracting me from reading, which was the irritating part. But that song is, like, the best part of that movie, so I'm not gonna complain. Then, instead of reading Scarlet, like I said I was going to, I picked up Romeo and Juliet by Brett Wright and Shakespeare, because Shakespeare wrote Romeo and Juliet, and then, yeah, we know how this works. Basically, this is another emoji Shakespeare thing, and I, like, ignoring the emojis. If we took all the emojis out, and this was the same story, it is, and, like, you know, they didn't act like well, I mean, they probably still act like teenagers in the real one, because they are, but, like, if it was the real thing, I would probably still hated it as much as I did. I gave it a 3 out of 5, and, I mean, that doesn't mean I hated it, I guess, because I gave it a 3 out of 5, but just, oh my gosh. These idiots in this book, like, they're idiots. No offense to them, but jeez. I mean, it's like, I see you, and I automatically am in love with you, even though I've just been staring at you for like 2 seconds. And I was like, what is going on? This is weird. This is creepy. Okay. And then, I mean, spoiler alert, they die, but I think most of us knew that. Like, he killed himself because he thought this girl was dead. And he's like, what, 14, 15? I mean, do these kids' parents even watch them? Like, parental supervision. I mean, Juliet had that nurse, but like the nurse just like, oh yeah, do whatever you want, I don't care. I'm hoping other Shakespeare plays will be better, because Hamlet was really good, but this one was like, I don't know, Shakespeare must have been having like a slow day or something. Anyway, that was my May wrap up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!